When a person has extreme social anxiety, also known as social phobia, they struggle to communicate with others. Here's something to consider. They are only struggling. It doesn't mean that they don't want to form long-lasting connections or friendships.
Hey, welcome to the Razzle Dazzle Show, a podcast where we talk about our favorite video games and all things pop culture with an emphasis on our favorites. We're your hosts, Jared and Chaz.
Hello, welcome. I am one of the great members of the Weeb Nation, and I hope you guys enjoy your time here.
And today we are talking about Komi Can't Communicate. The series is centered around Shoko Komi, a high school girl who suffers from extreme social anxiety and struggles to communicate with others. With the help from her classmate Tadano, they embark on a mission to make 100 friends and improve Komi's communication skills. Let us know what you think about this episode somewhere on the internet, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Razzle Dazzle Show, on TikTok at Razzle_Dazz_Show, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Raz_Dazz_Pod. And with all that being said, it's Razzle Dazzle time! Komi Can't Communicate. I've been waiting a long time to actually talk about this. The show came out in 2021. I just discovered it, I guess. I saw my first run through of the show last year and I fell absolutely in love with it. But before we go any further, let's jump into some trivia that I have. It's not like a game or anything. It's just like some fun facts that I thought were pretty cool while searching the World Wide Webs. First off, in the English dub, the announcer in Super Smash Swamp Pants Brothers, that's what it's called, not just Swamp Brothers, that's funny, is Xander Mobus, who is also the announcer of the Smash games for Wii U, 3DS, and Ultimate. I think that's pretty cool. I think they actually...
I think that's very unique, the fact that they went and got somebody who did, I know copyright reasons they can't, go take the name of the game and throw it in there. But the fact that we all knew what game it was referencing, and they went and got the same narrator. I love that. I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you a Power Rangers fan, Chaz?
I wouldn't say yes, but I'm not going to say no either.
You think it's cool? In concept.
Yes. My favorite ones were Dino Thunder. So those were the only ones I ever, went back to go rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
I dabbled into the other ones, did not like them.
Interesting. Another bit of trivia is that Scott Page Pachter, who was best known for producing over 300 episodes of Power Rangers, did the script adaptation for the English dub before his death from cancer on December 5th, 2021. We got a Power Rangers producer, script writer for Komi, of all things.
The genre difference I was not ready for. We went from action and mechas to slice of life and romance.
Yeah. Apparently, Tomohito Oda revealed in an interview that his original concept for the series would have actually seen Komi be a male with a communication disorder, but his editor convinced him that a female character would work better for the story, and this could potentially make Wakai Takanori, a new student, introduced in the third year as something of a development gag. So in potentially season 3, this supposed original main male character that was gonna be the character for the show might come in season 3. And I just think it's a good decision that they made in switching Komi to be a girl. I think that just works better.
What was his name again? The character who's gonna be coming in?
The character is Wakai Takanori. That's what the original male protagonist would have been. So we might see him in the next season.
We shall see.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be 2 males now with basically social anxiety. Because we already have one.
Oh, right. Katai.
Yeah, there you go.
I like Katai. He's really cool.
I love hearing his thoughts in his head. He's the kindest person in the world.
Yeah, right? He's just so misunderstood.
Hey, all he wanted was not to be bullied. He just wanted to fit in. And he somehow ended up looking the exact opposite. And I love that about him. I love when Shoko... Mm-hmm. her dad, and then he popped in, and I was like, that's 3. That's good enough. If they added one more, I won't be mad. But this is honestly adorable because, this is different. This is 2 people with social anxiety who, never met each other, And like when they first meet each other, it's hilarious because it was like the greatest stare down in the world. That's the best.
Oh, I can't. Thank goodness for like the narrators and the like describing the internal monologue and what's his name, Tadano, for like also describing to like us, the audience, like what's actually going on. Because without that, and it would be shown as like too serious to be taken literal, you know what I mean? Like this type of stare down. No, this show is filled with love, humor. It's so heartfelt and wholesome. I can't get enough of this show. This show has actually become one of my top like animes, period, I think, along with Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo and like Pokemon. Of course you got to count that. Definitely. Did I say top 5? No, I think top 10 at minimum. It's such a great, amazing show.
I don't know if I could put it as like one of my top 10. That's only because I've been watching animes for a couple years. I don't have a very large amount that I've seen, but I've seen over 140, 150 animes to compare that to.
That's quite a lot.
It is a lot. So you can see why it's hard for me to put it at like top 10.
It's not hard for me because I don't watch animes a lot.
See, that's understandable. But it is, I will not shoot it down. It is definitely a great anime. Yeah. I loved every second of watching it. It gave me like that nostalgic feeling of when I was watching when I first started watching anime. It was just wholesome. It was just people trying to live their best life, dealing with whatever problems they had in life. Like compared to like the animes we're getting now, where it's like Attack on Titan with genocide, Dragon Ball Z, Never Die. Like, and we got also like Demon Slayer with like all the chaos we got going on. Sometimes it's nice to just see reality. Yeah. In the anime. Yeah. And not like the whole I wish I had powers. I wish I had all this extra stuff. Mm-hmm. You just like I wish I had a high school like that, because that high school, to me, just being in that classroom, I probably would have had like the best high school of my life.
It's so much fun.
There was so much going on in that classroom, but none of it was, I think the word animosity, I think is the word I would like to use. Because that's what I had a lot of killing. There was a lot of animosity in the classroom. Nobody really got along, but that class. Right. Like, they didn't get along, but they got along. How did, like, if it didn't include who gets to like hang out with Komi, oh, they were best friends. Komi is the link between everybody else, kinda, which is weird because Najimi is that character that literally knows everybody and is everybody's childhood friends and stuff like that. Also, you like shonen, right? Like that's your main jive? Yes, I watch a lot of shonen. Okay, well, I'm glad to tell you that Komi is ultimately a shonen series. I don't know how to feel about that. The shonen genre is traditionally intended for young male readers, hence the name, right? And series such as Dragon Ball, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh! Are all good examples of the genre at its best. Curiously, shonen can also be treated as a broader catch-all genre in today's manga and anime industry. Komi is an example of the shonen genre diversifying its portfolio with no magic, no monsters, or punches necessary to tell a fine story. In that case, boys and girls alike can enjoy Komi Can't Communicate. So it's, I think a lot of misconceptions when anybody like thinks of the term shonen, we have to think of like these big battlefield magic system using animes like the ones I've said, or like Naruto, Demon Slayer, so on and so forth. But I'm glad that it's technically like that's not always the case. I like that we can get a little bit more grounded and a little bit more down to earth. You know what I mean? Yes, I do understand that, but I feel like it's okay for like Komi to be in a different genre. Oh yeah. I'm not saying that's its primary genre. I'm just saying like it can also be considered part of shonen, but it's definitely more slice of life with like a bit of rom-com, But like slice of life, that's the main thing. And I think within the past 2 years, I have watched almost only slice of life animes like Ouran High School Host Club, Tomo-chan is a Girl, My Dress Up Darling, this, Komi, and I don't know, there's something and Spy Family. Like, bro,
all of these animes, I absolutely love just seeing like the day-to-day stuff and how each show like tackles any situation differently, like within their styles, within like the hijinks or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's amazing.
To get shortly off topic, I just want to let you know, just in case you didn't know, there's a Spy Family movie called Cold White.
I know.
In April.
I'm well aware.
Okay, hey, look, I literally just went to the theaters to see the Demon Slayer movie, which I didn't know about until 2 days ago. Okay, so I didn't know if you was just like off the books like I was.
No, I'm very caught up with Spy Family. I think, oh my god, I think that's like my top 3. That's my 3rd favorite anime of all time.
Ooh,
I
can't. Gotta get my anime list to you.
I can't include Pokemon all the time just because that's by default number 1. So like without Pokemon, it's definitely Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Spy Family, and I guess like Komi is near there. And the main reason why I love Komi, I know I said it's very heartfelt and down to earth and very humorous too. It's an amazing, wholesome anime, but the thing that really gets me is the humor. Sometimes it's very like deadpan, like one note joke or whatever, and it's hilarious, especially when it's like there's like this one joke, I don't remember the joke, but it's an interaction between Yamai and Komi where she's like confessing her love or whatever. It might be like on Valentine's, I don't remember. Confessing her love.
Was it when she did it on top of the roof for the maid cafe?
No, this is like in the classroom or something. I don't remember exactly, but her response to whatever Yamai said is her like her big eyes or whatever. Silence zooms in. It looks like as if somebody like a fan on the internet made a quick little like edit or whatever, but no, this is like the studio that made this anime doing these type of jokes, and I think it's hilarious, bro. Because I don't see these type of jokes often in anime. It's just very like, I don't know, it's not traditional humor I see in anime, and I think it's amazing. And of course there's the very, very over the top scenes where it's all over the place. It's like whenever Komi is literally trying to like speak to a new character that's introduced, we see like her stuttering the same letter or whatever, but like everybody else's interpretation is like, oh my god, she's like so mean, she's like staring into my soul. Or when Komi was trying to hand back this guy's keys, she says keys, and his immediate thoughts are like, are you gonna kill me with my house keys? What?
I generally can't see how these people see her as like an aggressive person, as she's so mad at the world. But I guess that's just because of the way we see it, the way they show us.
Yeah.
Like how she looks, but like sometimes they did take it back and it would show us like her point of view. Yeah. I mean, not her point of view, but like other people's point of view. And all you see is like a blank expression coming from her face. Then I was like, maybe she do look a little upset, but like on a murderous intent, I would go that far.
But it's just so over the top. It's ridiculous in a lot of ways, but like it lands. You know what I mean?
Yes. For the comedy part, I love the comedy from Najimi. Najimi is the comic relief in the anime.
Definitely.
And my first thing with Najimi, I was like, who's this Najimi character who knows everybody? This character's wild. And then I think it was episode 1 or 2. They specified that Najimi is whatever Najimi wants to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean by that? And there's like episodes of Najimi and Tadano, and one moment, female uniform, another moment, male uniform. Yeah. Or I don't know if you remember when they went to
the top half is the boy uniform and the bottom half is the female uniform.
Yep. And do you remember when they had the summer vacation? They went to the pool. Right, and they was going to change clothes.
Yeah.
And Najimi started walking with Komi, and Tadano's like, "Hey, where the you think you going?" Like, And then it just showed Najimi coming out of the family restroom. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You really... And nobody ever like specifies to Najimi as like she or he.
Yeah. Always they.
Najimi is always called by Najimi.
Yeah, Najimi, they. I like that we get to see a non-binary characters. It's I'm not gonna say it's like the best representation of all time, but no, I think it's a good like representing LGBTQ non-binary. The voice actor for the English of this character is also non-binary, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's great that it's just normalized. You know, it's not, they don't make it a big deal, but I think in the context of Tadano knowing this person in junior high, then seeing them again in middle school, they're like, wait a minute, something's different. Okay, all right, you know what I mean?
But Najimi was accepted, wow, English is hard, accepted by everybody. And like Najimi, I don't know what type of past Najimi has, but like everybody who walks into that classroom,
Everybody.
As soon as Najimi walks in after them, oh hey you from like 19 BC. This is like, when did you have? Were you having parties all the time in middle school? Like, how did we like get this far?
Yeah,
to
right.
know everybody. I'm trying to remember what event it was. Oh, I think it was one of the festivals. I can't remember which festival it was. But Najimi's like, oh yeah, I accidentally made a date with 100 people.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite episode. I think that's episode 8? No, that is episode, give me 1 second.
And there is somebody else I do want to talk about that they added to the show later on. It was the country girl.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I love that episode. I think that episode in that festival is my favorite out of the entire show, which is hard because there's a lot of moments with every single episode that's just like pierces my heart with like, oh my god, this is so good. I love this. Good for you, Komi. Good for you, Tadano. But this episode, I think, shows like everything that the show is about, that the anime is about. Like, we get these interactions between Komi and Tadano, which is like, this is where Komi like first tries to express her feelings towards Tadano, but then like she erases it from the dirt.
Yeah,
the dirt writing. Love that.
The moment he leaned over, just freaked out.
Yeah, we get to see them just like hang around with all of their friends, and we got to see like cool little moments with each and every character. We get to see everybody for who they are, and just the relationships between Tadano and Komi like just deepen. And I think it works great. I think it's a phenomenal episode.
What was another thing? Tadano. I don't know if like you noticed it, but like further the show goes on, the less Tadano questions on how Komi feels. Like they did an episode when it was Yamai and Nakanaka.
Okay.
The one with the one eye?
Right.
Or she has two eyes.
Yeah.
That's the other one covered. But there was like trying to figure out who knows Komi's best. And Tadano was like, all right, let's play a game of we're going to watch Komi all day and you guys are going to guess what you think she's thinking.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where he knew exactly every thought that went through Komi's head, even without being next to her. But before, when the show first started, they always had to rely on like the notepad or after class writing on the chalkboard.
Oh, just real quick, that scene when they were first like writing to each other in the chalkboard. Oh my goodness. That kind of also describes the entire show too, you know? Like, this is so great. It makes me happy seeing Komi grow and like get more comfortable with her friends. It makes me feel so good to see that. And yeah, no, that I love that episode too, when he was showing Nakanaka and Yamai around with how Komi feels. I think that speaks volumes for how quickly Tadano and Komi grew together, even though it's like they're still awkward with each other. One thing I don't like about Tadano is like in the first episode or two, he just kept saying like his his characteristic or whatever, because all animes do this, right? And it's an anime trope. It's just like, I'm an average Joe and my special skill is I can read the room. I hate that. And it's not, and throughout the rest of the series, he doesn't really read the room. He just knows how to read a person.
Homie.
Yeah.
I mean, he does relatively read everybody else. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like, we're gonna go back to the pool scene, right?
Yeah.
The females were coming out of the pool.
The guys.
And he was sitting there, the guys are like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they were saying it in their heads.
Yeah.
And all you see is Tadano responding to what they said as each female came out. So it's not like he couldn't read a room if he wanted to.
I think it's the language.
His main focus was Komi.
Yeah, I think the language of just like the speech, you know, the script writing or whatever, I just don't like it. I just don't like the way it was worded, I think. But I guess also to mention, like, yes, this show is very heartwarming and very wholesome. But of course, it has its big anime tropes when it comes to, like, you know, there's a beach episode, a pool episode. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of innuendos and stuff like that in that episode specifically, and like throughout the show too. Like the Maid Cafes episode is it's a big one. But I don't think the thing I like about the show is that they don't hang on to that type of stuff for a long time. I think they just do it for the laughs, for like the Eastern audience, you know. I guess since, you know, us Westerners were like more not so much with that type of humor. I think that's why I'm saying this, but like I get it. It's anime. That's what you're gonna get. That it's to be expected.
Now think about it, they did hit like the most generic parts of watching a slice of life anime. Yeah. Especially like high school animes. The whole, like you said, the Maid Cafe, the summer like episode where they go to the beach or the pool, like the fireworks festival. Like every slice of life romance anime I've seen had all of those in it. And if it wasn't a Maid Cafe, it was just regular cafe or something. But it was just like the generic, we gonna have our largest character developments on each of these parts. And usually the largest one comes from the festival. Like you said, Komi like drawing in the sand, like her realizing her feelings for Tadano.
It's so cute. Oh my god.
It's always the festival, and I literally just thought about that. I've been watching animes for God knows how long, and I just realized in every anime I've seen, the festival is where it happens.
I think a part of it, especially for Komi, is because they are, like, these characters are together outside of, like, school. You know, they're together for a lot longer period of time, and they get to like sit on whatever thoughts or feelings they have for a bit longer than just a school day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that has something to do with it. And also just the culture festival in the school. That is, I think that's a two-parter, like episode 11 and 12. It is such a great couple of episodes. Yeah, there's the Maid Cafe, but they also make fun of it. Tadano is one of the maids, so like, there you go.
Love that. That was hilarious. The way the sister took the picture and left and said, "Hey, Mom, did you see this?"
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those types of jokes are hilarious, and they're all over the series. But yeah, all the events going on, like I wish. Like you were saying earlier, I wish I went to this school. I wish like our high schools did stuff like this cool. All we get is like, what, field day? Like a bouncy house and like some obstacle courses, and you get to play sports. That's fine, but like it's not as much fun as like, there's a haunted house, there's like food, there's of course like a track and field event or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff is so, and like just random stuff like shouting your whatever's your confessions on the roof of a building. Like I understand why we don't actually do that because that's dangerous.
I would say, in the U.S., I don't know how I feel about my fellow students having access to a rooftop.
But I'm just saying, like that concept, you know, like you could do it like absolutely. In the auditorium or outside in the field, you know, like on a soapbox or something, you know, like just stuff like that. I think will be awesome to do, and I wish I could have participated in stuff like that, you know.
I say from what I've seen in animes, which I don't know how Japanese schools work, but they have a lot of downtime at school together to get to bond the way they do.
Right?
Like the schools here is like, hey, you got period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You got 3 to 5 minutes to get to your next class. School ends, and at that point, nobody wants to be there all day.
Yeah.
But when you're watching these animes, like between, I've noticed that it's the teachers who change in their class, not the students.
Yeah.
So I guess in that like downtime of teachers like changing around, they have all this downtime to talk and hang out with each other. And since they're not like always seeing, like, for example, Ferguson, right? You know how many students are at Ferguson?
No, I'm assuming a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And then Ferguson also had 8 periods. Imagine like that many students. You're not going to really want to hang out with the entire class at that point.
Right.
Because you're looking at over 100 students all together. You're not going to be able... Komi would have had such a terrible time.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, don't get me wrong, I do let her go, having over 100 friends. And I don't know if you caught on to Najumi's joke where she said, oh, you're only at like 80-something? You've been doing this for months.
It's been like 6 months and all you got is like 10? And your goal is 100? Why so little?
What was another comedy part that I like? Oh, Komi and her brother going looking for gifts.
Oh, that's so good.
The narrator did a great job describing the way they both felt. And it was just like, I didn't know that her brother also had a form of social anxiety with each other. Like, they grew up together and they just don't talk to each other.
I don't think he has. If I remember correctly from that episode, I think it's just like he chooses to be silent.
He chooses to be silent?
I'm pretty sure.
I remember he just ran away from the register when she like asked him to buy stuff too.
He ran away because he was like, listen, this is not my thing. You do it. Like, I'm not. That's what I got from it. Is like, I'm not gonna deal with this.
I'll say the mother seems like the only one in the family who talks.
The mother is the extrovert. Yeah, for sure.
Which I don't know how she got the dad. Which the dad and Komi was also another good part to watch them in the restaurant.
Oh yeah, when he was taking her to the library and they stopped to get shaved ice, that was so cute. Yeah. Nothing was said except for like that one line or whatever. But like, cool. How powerful it is, you know? It's so good. And speaking of, let's talk about it. How do you feel about the way this show approaches social anxiety? What are your thoughts on it?
I feel like they did a good job on it. That it's not like, and they remind you at the beginning of every episode, people with social anxiety, they may not talk to you, they may not give you like their full attention, but not all of them want to be alone. Some of them want lots of friends, like Komi. So like, don't get discouraged when you're trying to communicate with somebody who has social anxiety, and it seems like they're not giving you the time of day, or they're giving you like a cold shoulder or something like that. Not everybody wants to be alone. Either like social anxiety or not everybody wants to be alone. So still be that person's friend if possible.
Yeah, I absolutely love that every episode has that same saying somewhere within it. In the beginning, in the end, in the middle, doesn't matter. I'm glad that it's there every time. And I think it's important, especially like coming up. I know the manga started in 2016, which is also great for the time to like for this thing to come out. But I think for the show, first came out in September 6, 2021, right after, a year after the pandemic, when we were just like still getting used to, you know, people again. Watching this show, I think, helps people feel like they're not alone in whatever situations they might be in. If like I don't have like extreme social anxiety. I think I'm a very like extroverted person for the most part. But I know like in middle school and transitioning through high school, I was very like nervous and I didn't really make a lot of friends. Our other co-host Mauro is one of my longest, if not the longest friend I've had since middle school, and he could probably attest for this if he was here. But I never was great at socializing. Maybe it could have been anxiety, or maybe I just wasn't comfortable with it, or maybe it's a blend. But I think for these characters in this show, freshman year of high school, and of course we saw a little flashback of Komi in middle school where she was still struggling with this. I think it's still a great thing to showcase. I think it's a solid representation of social anxiety, and I'm not saying like it's the best. Of course there are plenty of other animes that has tackled this type of theme or this type of subjects, like Your Lie in April, for example, right? But all those other shows are very serious and drama centered. Like the tone is kind of more mature, I think I want to say. Maybe I don't want to say darker, but you know what I mean? It's not as lighthearted. Yes. What I like about Komi, I like that it's lighthearted, but they don't make light of this type of condition, or they don't like make fun of it or anything. Everybody in the show takes this very seriously, and all of Komi's friends are like, yeah, we'll help you. No, we understand. Let's work on it. Especially Tadano, like when her friends came over for Christmas for her birthday and gave her that giant black cat plushie, she didn't know how to handle that type of situation. So when everybody else went back inside the house, Tadano was like, noticed how she was feeling, and he was like, why don't we write a thank you letter to everyone later? And she's like, cool, I'm down. Like that type of stuff I absolutely love, like friends helping each other overcome their struggles of any kind. And like I said, I think this is a solid representation of that. I've seen I sent you a link of some videos of like people with communication disorder, social anxiety, how they feel about it. They also said, like, you know, it's not the best representation, but it's a good one, a lighthearted, good feeling type of one, with the humor especially. And of course, you know, anybody can feel what they want, and I'm trying not to talk out of my ass about this, but I think the general consensus is Komi does a great job at showcasing what social anxiety is, or at least bringing more attention to it, especially in a time where it's needed. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. And I finally found the quote I was trying to tell you about earlier. The one that said it at the beginning. It literally goes, just because a person has a problem communicating doesn't mean that person doesn't want to communicate with others. Yeah. And hearing that at the beginning of every episode was just like, it was like their way of like keep reminding you, keep letting you know that the people with social anxiety do want to talk, they just might not be able to.
And a lot of people don't know, like we can have a person we know that is suffering through some form of this and we have no idea. You know, they could be silently suffering. And I like that quote, like the narrator says, just because they don't do this or can't doesn't mean they don't want to. I absolutely love this. And like I'm sure there's a lot of people who like a different example of not social anxiety, but something of like, if you see somebody sitting at a table and they have a resting bitch face, there's a lot of assumptions from other people being like, oh, that person looks mean or whatever, and then you walk up to them and say hi and they're like the brightest, bubbliest person ever, you know, like that, something like that. I think that still correlates to Komi and social anxiety and stuff. I hope that makes sense.
That did make sense.
Okay.
Honestly, I have one person at work that's like that. She also, like, when I first saw her, and I was like, is she mad? Is she okay? Right. And they was like, no, she's probably the nicest person you ever meet. And I was like, there's no way. Because, as you know, I work in the military. Seeing her with a resting bitch face, and then, you know, she has a rifle in her hand. I felt so scared. But then, like, as I, like, started working with her more, I understood everything exactly. Like, she was the nicest person I ever met at work. And she is, like, when I tell you, so soft-spoken as well. Like, she won't speak over a certain decimal. She will not yell at people. Right. And it's just hilarious. And now we have new sailors coming in, and they're asking me the same thing I was asking other people. And now I can see, like, how funny this is on the other side. It's like, if you just give somebody time and just, like, get to know them. Yeah, you get to know them. They're the total opposite. They can be the total opposite of exactly what you thought they were.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed, like, getting older, it becomes so much harder to make friends. And like for a myriad of reasons of like, you know, being afraid to approach somebody because of how they might like think you're a creep or something, or like that a social anxiety part of it, fear of like people thinking you're weird. It's just it's become less natural to just be like, hey, I think you're cool. Do you want to like talk? Like making plans with someone now in our mid 20s, at least for me, it's like jarring in a weird way. It's like, hey, do you want to like maybe kind of like get lunch sometime? Like, why is that so hard? I understand like scheduling and all that stuff, but like, you know, just approaching somebody, just trying to like establish a relationship, like a connection of some kind, is difficult. It's like it's more awkward now. I can't properly explain it, but like, do you know what I mean? Do you have that problem? I don't know if you do.
I think it's the fact that everybody's in a different mentality than we were in high school. Like in high school, it was like, all right, we're all forced to come to school, get our grades done, and me and you, we have to sit next to each other, no matter how this day goes. So it's just like, while sitting in the classroom for hours on end with somebody, you just start talking to them.
True.
Or you're just sitting there, minding your business, and you're like, that's what happened with me in high school. I'd be sitting there, doodling my little pad, writing notes or drawing pictures, whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Probably sleep in class. And I hear somebody talking about anime. I pop up and I just look and I just start talking to them like, oh, you watch this? Or, oh, you play this?
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's just like, yo, you want to go see that movie like fucking later? And it's just like, it's different because now when you're at like, now that we're, I don't want to say.
You're adults.
Yeah, we're adults. But like, this could happen to us outside of like being adults. But like now that we're like adults and we have mindsets of like, bills and other responsibilities in life, we get hyper focused on those and we start enjoying less of life because we're trying to handle responsibilities. So now when you're at work,
that's a good
people
point.
Go to work with a work mentality.
True.
And like we now also make work miserable for us. Like before going to school, we look for anything that makes school get by faster, better. We just looking for that classmate we can like kick rocks with in the back of class just to get through the class day and pass. Now we're not like, now we're going to work and we don't have the mindset of, hey, let's do whatever we can to get through work with the best mood as possible. It's now like, I want to hurry up and leave this place. I don't like it here. I want my money.
That's a good point. And I also think like a part of it's like stranger danger type of deal, which is real, right? You should beware of strangers. But like, I don't know, there's this weird stigma, I think, in society where like, you know, approaching people who, you know, you might be associates of some kind, you might be associated somehow or through a friend, you know, a friend of a friend or whatever. You go to like, I don't know, like you see somebody in the cafe and they're ordering the same drink as you know, just starting up like a casual like small talk or something, you know.
That's it.
There's something.
I never been a person of that stranger danger idea you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It was like today when I went to go see the Demon Slayer movie. Mm-hmm. I walked in, the person who like checks your ticket, literally looked at Dez and looked at us. Is like, oh, you guys going to watch a Demon Slayer movie? Just automatically started a conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to shy away from a conversation from a topic I like.
Yeah. So
like literally the moment he started talking about Demon Slayer, my whole mind transferred from, oh, we're late from the movie to, what do you think? How did you like the movie?
Right.
Is there anything I need to be worried about? And he's like, the things we talked about is like how we like sub and dub. Mm-hmm. So like, you know how that's a whole thing in the anime world. Mm-hmm. If you like to watch dub, you're rude. Which to me, if you watch dub, go you. Do anything you can to watch his anime.
Enjoy the thing you want the way you want.
Because I'd rather you watch this in whatever language you prefer, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Because like either way, sub or dub, we all getting the same message.
Yes.
Now we might not have the same quotes.
Mm-hmm. And the performances might vary.
That's That is absolutely true. Unless you're watching something like Ghost Stories. I don't know if you ever heard about that one.
Yeah.
Watching that sub and dub, two different ball games.
No, you have to watch it dub. It's the only way to watch it.
It's not the only way to watch it. You can watch
it's the best way to watch it.
But you gotta start it dub to me. To me, dub first, then sub.
Fair.
You gotta get the wild statements first. Then you gotta watch how serious the anime is.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a great example of like normally like finding something you guys have in common and like expanding upon it. Like that's how you make friends. That's like, oh, you know, the person next to me at work, they have like a pop Funko of a character that I also like. Let me strike up a conversation about that, and then, you know, but like, I don't know, there's this weird barrier, I think, in when it comes to social cues and communication with everybody, like, period, that makes it just harder to make friends. And, you know, tying it back to Komi, like, this is just her in high school, and then I'm sure there's like a genetic thing or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, it's still a great representation. I assume so. There's no like confirmed like she suffered this since birth or whatever. But like I know that from what research I've done, this type of anxiety and other like mental disorders or whatever can be genetic. It can be, or just developed as you grow up. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I keep saying, I think Komi Can't Communicate does a great job at showcasing and representing a more lighthearted, supportive version of social anxiety, the social communication disorder.
What's another thing? I was gonna tell you the thing I like about the dad is I like the fact that they showed that even at like such an older age that he is, he still has social anxiety, but he has a life still.
Yeah.
He has wife and kids and a job.
Yeah.
And he still goes out and do his daily life.
Still very successful. Yeah.
So it's not like a put down of like, hey, you have social anxiety.
It's not so
life
much.
It's gonna be rough. And it's not like, hey, you can't get through it. It's like, hey, you have social anxiety. You can get through it. It may not go away, but you will still find those people for you in life. And your challenges may be a lot harder, but you can still do this. So I think that I really hope that Komi looks at her father as a role
model.
Yes, there you go, a role model of like, hey, I have social anxiety, and then she's also showing like the character development of like getting through it as well.
Oh God!
Starting to go for 100 friends. Yeah, and then like actually getting friends coming over to her house. She's going places with her friends. Yeah. So I do like the character development they showed as well.
The amount of development Komi has within these two seasons, on Netflix is just season 1, but it's season 1 and 2. It's so significant. It, like, in terms of like actual amount, she's only able to like talk on the phone for the majority of like the later mid portions of it, but towards like the end of season 2, she's able to like talk face to face with Tadano, like full sentences, not just like a sentence, like
stutters, words. It was like, full,
like, when she started doing that, I was getting teary eyed. Like it was pulling all the right heartstrings. It's so good.
I did love that. What was another thing? Oh, you said the phone thing. Oh yeah. I don't know if you remember like the first, the second or third episode when she calls Tadano. I just loved the silence that was just on the phone. Yeah. To me, that was just an amazing addition to like, hey, she made the phone call. She's putting in effort.
Yeah. And that's such a great thing too. Yeah. Like, I'm sure it's easy for a lot of people who suffer through something like this to like give up and not really try. Of course, it's harder to try, but seeing someone, seeing this representation of someone going through this and like actively wanting to be better, to do this thing, to have this goal I think it's beautiful. I think it's great.
I definitely agree with you on that part. I still got to give you my anime list so you can compare it to the other slice of life I watch.
You gave me your anime list.
I did. Yeah. No, I got to point out. Yeah, I did give you the list, but I got to point out the slice of life for you.
Oh, I got you.
That way you can compare it to Komi Can't Communicate. Now, once again, I'm not putting Komi Can't Communicate down. Komi Can't Communicate to me is still an absolutely great anime. Yeah. I would definitely put it up there on the tier list. I've seen some terrible stuff. That is actually a great one. I want to say one of my favorite animes, and it's the movie. I would rewatch it and I would cry to this movie every time. It's not somebody who has social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to go off topic, but
No, you're
it's
good.
about a deaf girl and then this kid who bullied her while they was in elementary school, and he gets older and everything, and his mom finds out that he tried killing himself because he hated himself ever since he bullied her. And then so he goes and tries to he went and learned sign language. Like years later, he went to learn sign language to talk to her again, so he can atone. But he would never fully atone, and you just see them grow together as well. It's something you have to watch. Right. I cry every time I watch it. It's not long. It's one movie. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes at most, since it's an animated movie. But that would be one of my favorites. What was another romance one? As weird as this one sounds, I promise you, it's a great romance anime. Are you ready? I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Okay. I tell people that, and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, I promise you, it's not what it sounds like. She's not a cannibal.
Animes with their very, very unique anime titles.
Yeah. That one's a great one. I'm not going to describe that one because if I describe it, I'm going to spoil that one entirely.
Yeah.
So just describing the title to you will spoil the anime. So I'll let you, whenever you watch that one's no rush. But that was a great one. That one had me in tears as well.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so the second one I gave you, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. It's a great anime. And then the first one also, Silent Voice. There we go.
I've heard of that one. Yeah, it's on my list.
Yes. Watch that when you can. Hit me up on that one. Take me hey, this movie was an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 compared to Komi. Is up there on the list. I just want to hear you say that. When you say it's up there with Komi, I knew that at least I'm not bad. I don't have bad taste. There we go. That's the word. Bad taste.
A final point that I just want to bring up is Komi doesn't focus on the romance part of this rom-com,
No, not at all.
It's slice of life first, rom-com second. It's 85% slice of life and the rest a little bit rom-com, but I'm glad it's not forced. I'm glad it's organic. I'm glad they're taking their time. It's in terms of it just happens. It's a slow burn, and I just friends to lovers or whatever, and we're still not at the confession stage yet or whatever, and I'm cool with that. They don't, first of all, they can just be platonic, period, and I will be happy about it. If they end up together falling for each other romantically, that's great too, and I think that's believable in every sense. So good on the show for doing that.
They say the next season. Yeah, it could be that, and then it could be the troubles of how to describe it. So the whole show is about her not being able to communicate, and as you know, one of the foundations you need in a relationship is communication. Yeah. So if the next season is them getting together, that will be the wall she has to find a way to break. Yep. And watching him help her go through that wall as well, as he's been helping her this whole way to watch. It's gonna very excited for that. If that's a thing, if that becomes a thing, I'm gonna be very excited to watch that development.
Heck yeah. All right, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode here on the Razzle Dazzle Show. Please let us know what you think about this episode somewhere on the internet, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Razzle Dazzle Show, on TikTok at Razzle_Dazzle_Show, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Raz_Daz_pod. Be sure to leave us 5-star ratings and a nice little written review down below, and we'll catch you on the next one. Something that didn't make it in the episode, apparently there is a live action TV drama adaptation of the show.
I heard of that.
For 8 episodes. Yeah, just a few months run. Interesting.
I heard of it. I don't know where to find that.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't further look into it, but I just thought oh wow, there's a live action version of the show that came out before the anime. So a month before. So yeah, That's it.
I'm literally looking it up now. Haha. I cannot find it anywhere. That is all Japanese. I'm not able to read that at all. That is not happening.
Yeah, it exists. It's a show that exists, and I'm probably never gonna watch it.
Even like you heard of IMDb, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Even IMDb doesn't have it like a way for me to pay them to watch it. It's your watch list. I love when they do that with like movies and shows. Like, hey, you want this? We don't have it, and I'm like, but I seen it. It's made.
Then why is it here?
Like of all places, if Amazon Prime does not have it, then IMDb, you're the last hope I got. And I understand I will be paying $8 to watch a movie for the day, but like. When I want to watch a movie that bad that I'm willing to pay like $10 to watch it one time through a website, you should give me that movie.